high points of any graduation ceremony is the commencement address. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce to you today's commencement speaker, Dr. Rick Rosa. Dr. Rosa is a graduate of NYCC and has been in private practice for over 21 years. He also has been of great service to the college for many years as a clinician and assistant instructor, and is currently a member of the NYCC Board of Trustees. His contributions to the chiropractic profession have been numerous in scope, and his dedication to the profession unmatched. He currently co-owns and operates 13 clinics in the Washington, D.C. area and has collaborated in many multidisciplinary settings with doctors in various different specialties. He is also the founder of Recovery Doc, a consulting company based on his system of recovery for professional athletes. Over the years, Dr. Rosa has treated many amateur, Olympic, and professional athletes, including world champions in boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and cycling. Dr. Rosa has also been a proponent of lifelong learning and has continued to dedicate himself to this idea. He has his diploma from the American Academy of Pain Management, is a certified chiropractic sports physician, and has training from the National Academy of Sports Medicine as a corrective exercise specialist and performance enhancement specialist. He also has advanced certifications in kinesiotaping, kinetics therapy, Graston therapy, whiplash and brain injury traumatology, dry needling, and manipulation under anesthesia. In addition, Dr. Rosa has training from the Gulf Coast Medical in musculoskeletal ultrasound using a portable MSK ultrasound to diagnose soft tissue injuries in the field or in the office. Dr. Rosa is the recent author of The 6 Pillars of Sports Recovery, a comprehensive guide on how to recover faster and outperform at the highest levels. In addition, he writes for several websites and magazines on injuries, as well as recovery and sports. Now, please join me in welcoming Dr. Rick Rosa.
Thank you, Dr. Meston. Wow, this is a huge moment for all of you. You have lots of adrenaline flowing. I know I do. So take a few deep breaths, take a few mental snapshots of the day so you can remember these times. I have to welcome students, administration, board of trustees, faculty, staff, and guests. I want to thank NYCC for the honor of asking me to speak at an institution that I truly love and have to thank for everything I have today. Those introductions always seem very impressive. I'm a writer, a lecturer, a teacher, a sports chiropractor, a board member. It makes me sound like a very important man. As I stand here before you today, don't be that impressed. There's a bit of an iceberg illusion going on. I'm no genius. I'm no thought leader. I'm no different than any of you sitting in those chairs today. In fact, you're looking at a giant failure. If we stack up all of my accomplishments alongside all of my failures, trust me, it would not look that impressive. I have felt the bitter sting of failure, embarrassment, and self-doubt on so many occasions that I honestly can't remember them all. So why am I here? I'm here on this stage because NYCC wants you to see that an alumnus of this institution can be a success. And at this point in my life, I feel like a success. I have financial independence. I love being a chiropractor. I've been working with professional athletes and I've been able to travel the world. I have 3 awesome children. I married the most beautiful and intelligent woman that I could find. Incidentally, met her right here on campus 22 years ago. This may sound boastful, but I'm not trying to impress you. I'm trying to impress upon you that I am no different than any of you students. Soon-to-be doctors sitting before me, each of you could truly be successful in life as well. Again, we have a bit of an iceberg effect going on. You only see the tip of the iceberg, the success, but not what's below the waterline, so to speak, what actually got me to this happy place. And this brings us to my story. There's always a story. I am the youngest son of Sicilian immigrants, and my parents really were off the boat. I have to start with my father. He was one of those men who walked into a room and he instantly commanded respect. A man who dropped out of the school, middle school, he got his GED in the Air Force, would walk into a room of college presidents, congressmen, and everyone would treat him as an equal. He would often say to me, "Ricky, I wish I could be a professional student." At that time, I thought he was nuts. I didn't really understand what he was talking about. But as I got older and grew up and matured, I've tried to become just that, a professional student of life, of everything that I do each day. My mother was your classic Italian mother, filling your heart and your stomach on a daily basis. She was often overlooked in our large family and sometimes overshadowed by my father's larger-than-life image. The gift that my mom gave me, besides her love, awesome food each day, was the entrepreneurial spirit. She had a woman-owned business in the 70s, which back then was not the norm, on the main street of Hackensack called Tina's Variety Shop. She was definitely a tenacious entrepreneur. And thank God for that strong foundation, because at that time in my life, school was not a happy place. Not only was I not special, but in the 70s and 80s, I was actually labeled below level at school. Yikes. Can you imagine that today? That's what they term you as below level. I struggled with learning disabilities at a time when you didn't have learning disabilities. You were just stupid. And frankly, I had less of a chance to reach for the stars, as my grammar school yearbook stated. I started life academically as a failure. I could not read or spell or write very well. In Sunday school, the nuns would often make fun of me in class as I struggled to read and fought back tears every time. A seminal moment in my life occurred in middle school when I was asked to be placed on level, so to speak, so that I could take college prep classes in high school. Otherwise, I would not be able to attend college at that time. It was at that moment in life I started to become gritty. No one had ever asked to be moved up before, and they had no idea what to do. So they told me if I got all A's, I could be placed on level for 8th grade. Well, my science teacher, Mr. Summers, gave me a B, but I don't hold any grudges, even though he's the only teacher's name I remember from middle school. Thankfully, they let me move up, and I was able to begin high school preparing for college. It would be an understatement to say English was hard for me, but my English teacher came to my rescue and said I can get tested at this new learning institution at the local hospital for a learning disability. I actually had no idea what she was talking about, but I went and got tested, and I was told I had dyslexia. At that time, no one had ever heard of it, but it actually was incredibly liberating for me. I wasn't actually stupid. My brain processed information in a different way, and they told me I was actually pretty bright. So I continued to struggle as I found myself catching up, but I continued to work hard. Then in college, things started to click for me, and in chiropractic college, I started to excel, and I began to get involved with SACA. I was vice president of my class, and the rest of the story you've just heard announced before. So what's the point? I want you to understand my story because it involves 3 things I feel helped me become a success: having mentors, being gritty, and lastly, being truly honest with yourself. I have been very fortunate to have had many mentors in my life: my mom and dad, my older brothers, one who's been an entrepreneur ever since I can remember, the other who is actually a 1992 NYCC graduate who I followed into this profession and is my partner. I have to also mention the past president, Dr. Nietzsche, who to this day is a massive influence on me as a mentor. And even today, I look to my fellow board members here at NYCC to continue to learn from them. In life, it's very hard to be a listener, and to absorb people's opinions and ideas and look at them objectively. We all want to tell rather than to listen, and having mentors helps this a great deal. You need mentors in life to help guide you, lift you up, to shorten the learning curve, to help with that scary clinical situation, or to talk to you out of buying that expensive office furniture when you start up your first practice. I always felt that grit was something that helped me in life. It's that special little thing, that magic, that's something that enables each of us to find our way to success. It's something we can all have. You don't have to be born with it. It's a choice. I recently found a great book called Grit by Angela Duckworth, an incredible academic who has a very inspiring story herself. She spends her life researching this very topic and published many papers on how grit counts more than talent. She looked at West Point graduates, West Point cadets, business leaders, salespeople, and she studied who would be the most successful. The talented or gifted, or the gritty ones? What she found was that yes, talent counts. Of course it does. But grit counts twice. In practice and in life, I have failed so many times I lost track long ago. Today I am fortunate to get to work with and treat professional athletes from all over the world. However, they didn't just stroll into my office one day. One of the more dramatic failures in my life was with my beloved Washington Wizards. My brother and I had several meetings with them, and we had finally made it face-to-face with Wes Unseld, the general manager, and the entire management team. We were told that we would be the team chiropractors, and this was when Michael Jordan was on the team. A dream come true, right? Wrong. At the last second, right before the start of the season, the owner, Abe Pullen, decided we didn't need to spend money on a team chiropractor. It still hurts to this day. I spent a considerable amount of time crawled up in the fetal position immediately following that news. Eventually, though, I continued to work hard on my craft, adding tools to my toolbox, reading and expanding my base of knowledge to try to become a success. Now, you've just spent the last 10 trimesters going through hell. I'm sure you've had some failures, setbacks, in school and maybe even your personal life. I know, I remember what it was like here. But you all got up, you went on to the next test, and you continued. And you're gonna graduate from NYCC if I ever shut up and stop talking. This is one of the greatest tools NYCC has given you. The program in which you just endured, no doubt, has left you gritty. This faculty, in short, is awesome. I learned under some of the same professors. Don't worry, I won't mention the individual professors. They have collectively broken you down only to build you back up. They have not only educated you, but they started the process of developing your grittiness. And it's your choice to continue to develop it. NYCC, hands down, produces the finest chiropractors, and I should know because I've hired an awful lot of them. Please know, I am not standing here telling you how great I am. I am standing here before you today telling you that you can achieve the same things I have and even more. Every one of you students in those uncomfortable seats right now can have greatness however you want to define it. The final insight I would like to pass on to you is honest introspection. Being honest with yourself is very underrated. Being truly honest is a really hard thing to do. Everyone rationalizes the choices they make each day, especially the bad ones. Being honest with what you've done with your life each day is difficult. Our human nature runs contradictory to this principle, and I continue to find it hard to be truly honest. In closing, I want to ask you a few simple questions. Why are you here? What is your purpose? Will it make you happy? True happiness in life is elusive, so start with being honest with yourself. When you have the answers to these questions, your patients will see it in your eyes when you advise them. They will feel it in your hands when you treat them. It will come from within. And isn't that the whole point? Listen to your mentors, because trust me, you're going to need them. And stay gritty. I'm going to ask this class to make a pledge to me that you will be truly honest with yourself. Use that grittiness to overcome any setbacks or obstacles that come your way. In return, I will personally mentor this class. My contact info is all yours. I am doing this because I want you to be better than me, to achieve more, to be truly happy, and also to lead by example, to do the same thing for future grads of NYCC. Graduates of NYCC, class of March 2018, stand on my shoulders, achieve your greatness, and look further than I ever have. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rosa. Well done. We are honored to have a special presentation of fellowship by the American